Bears News Fan Report is back, and things are heating up at Hallis Hall. What's happening behind the scenes could shape not just the upcoming season, but the future of the entire franchise. Our GM is trying to block the NFL's most coveted offensive coordinator. This doesn't sound like strategy, it sounds like pure drama. Stick around because we're just getting started. And wait, here comes the second bombshell. A key player from the Saints may be heading to Chicago. And it's not just speculation. With $82 million in cap space, could this be the move that finally brings life to the pass rush that's been dead for years? This addition could change everything on defense. And lastly, Caleb Williams has spoken, and his message is crystal clear. He wants a leader who will put him in the franchise at the top of the elite. And he's even mentioned the name of the chosen one. But is this the right choice, or should we stick with a veteran coach like Pete Carroll? So, if you want to stay on top of everything Bears, don't forget to subscribe to the Bears News Fan Report. Hit that like button and turn on notifications. This content is a must-watch. Imagine this, our GM, Ryan Poles, is blocking the hiring of the NFL's most coveted offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson. Genius strategy or pure desperation? And more, with an amazing $82 million in cap space, rumors are that a Saints star, Chase Young, might be heading to Chicago. This would change the face of the defense, finally putting an end to the drought of a dominant pass rush. And to fuel the fire even more, Caleb Williams, the dream quarterback for fans, made it clear he wants a leader who will elevate the team to the elite. He even dropped names. Is this the ideal coach, or would it be better to bet on someone more experienced like Pete Carroll? The drama is real, and as always, we want to know, do you think Poles is protecting his job or truly putting the Bears first? And about Chase Young, is he worth the investment as the ideal partner for Montez Sweat? Leave your comment below, and don't forget, subscribe to the Bears News Fan Report to catch every detail of the Bears' future. Let's build this new era together. Kingsbury is known as a specialist in working with talented and young quarterbacks. He succeeded in shaping players like Patrick Mahomes during his time at Texas Tech, more recently, Kyler Murray in the NFL. The question is he the missing piece in the Bears' puzzle to finally turn this offense into something feared? Or are we putting our faith in a name that, although has its merits, also carries a history of inconsistency? And it doesn't stop there, folks. What Caleb Williams wants is more than just a coach. He wants a visionary, someone capable of creating an environment where talent can thrive and mistakes can be corrected without fear or hesitation. This is what the Bears have been missing for years. The current culture is stagnant, and a leadership change, along with the arrival of a generational quarterback like Caleb, could be the start of a new era in Chicago. On the other hand, some believe Kingsbury doesn't have the ideal profile. Critics point out that his time with the Arizona Cardinals was marked by questionable decisions and an inability to adjust his scheme in critical moments. If this is true, should we consider more consistent options? A name like Pete Carroll, for example, would bring experience and a winning mentality, but would he be willing to rebuild from scratch with a young quarterback? So, Bears fans, the ball is in your court. Caleb Williams is sending a message to the team's leadership, and we as fans have the right to demand that our voices be heard. Is Cliff Kingsbury the leader who can transform the Bears into a real contender? Or should we explore other options, perhaps less risky but equally promising? Leave your opinions in the comments. We want to know, what would you do if you were in Kevin Warren's shoes? Would you risk everything with Kingsbury to please Caleb Williams, or would you opt for a safer path with an experienced coach? The future of the Bears could depend on this decision, and it's time for the fans to show their passion and vision for the team. As a Bears fan, I have to admit the idea of Caleb Williams commanding our offense is too exciting to ignore. He's a generational talent, someone who could change the franchise's destiny for years. If he wants Cliff Kingsbury as coach, it's something that deserves, at the very least, to be seriously considered. Kingsbury has his flaws, of course. His time with the Cardinals showed that he can struggle in decisive moments. But we can't ignore what he did with quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray. He knows how to develop raw talent and turn it into something special, and that's exactly what we need. That said, I don't believe we should blindly hand over the franchise keys. Perhaps a balance is necessary. Why not bring in Kingsbury as offensive coordinator and keep or hire a head coach with experience leading a team? someone who can complement his strengths and cover his weaknesses. This way, Caleb would have the offensive mentor he desires, but the team would still have solid and experienced leadership at the helm. What honestly worries me is the Bears front office's history of poor decisions. We can't afford to miss the golden opportunity Caleb represents. I hope they are smart and strategic, because the last thing I want is to see another talent wasted in Chicago. But what about you, fans? Do you think it's worth the risk to bet on Kingsbury, or should we look for a safer alternative? I want to hear your opinions. I fully understand the excitement of many fans about the idea of bringing Cliff Kingsbury, especially because he could be the key piece to turn Caleb Williams into a superstar right away. But at the same time, there's a sense of caution I can't ignore. What concerns me more is the risk of continuing to live in the shadow of inexperience, as we did with Matt Nagy. Kingsbury, although a good offensive name, never had the success expected as head coach. This raises the question, are we ready for another experiment? The franchise needs to ask itself if it's worth it, at this critical moment, to invest in a project that may or may not work, or if it's time to look for a more proven leader, someone who has the experience to turn a team into a champion, someone with a history of solid decisions under pressure. And I, as a fan, also need to weigh in the idea of a real change, not just coaching, but mentality. If we bring in Kingsbury, or any other name, they need to be someone who can truly alter the internal culture of the team. We need a deeper change, one that's more than just the name of a coach. As for Caleb, he needs a coach who will challenge and develop him. If he says Kingsbury is the guy, maybe we should listen. But at the same time, I hope the Bears do things smartly. We may have a young and talented team, but the coach's mentality needs to be focused on the long term, with the ability to win important games. So yes, I'm excited about the possibility of Caleb and Kingsbury together, but I also have that inner voice telling me not to let excitement cloud rational judgment. After all, in the end, we're talking about the future of the franchise, and I want to see the Bears on top again, not stuck in an endless cycle of failed attempts. What do you think? Would it be a good idea to put Caleb and Kingsbury in charge? Or should we seek more stability and experience?